In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the battery on this Ford F-150. It's located right behind the passenger side headlight, and it's a pretty easy process. So let's get started. The battery is located on the passenger side front of the engine, right next to the passenger side headlight right here. The first thing you always want to do when removing a battery is disconnect the negative battery terminal first. All you need to do that is an 8mm wrench or socket, loosen up the mounting nut, and then you should be able to slide the terminal off. As you do that, you definitely want to inspect both the battery post as well as the terminal, most importantly this, for corrosion. You don't want any corrosion built up on here. If there is any corrosion, take care of that the right way. You don't want to reinstall this with a bunch of corrosion here because it will damage things and it could also prevent current flow. Moving on, peel back this red boot if you have one, and that'll expose the positive terminal. And the same 8mm mounting nut is here also, so take that off. Once you loosen that up enough, you should be able to spin this terminal, pull it off of the battery post, set this aside. Inspect this one for corrosion also. Between the fender and the battery, you'll see this 8mm headed stud. We have to loosen this up in order to remove the battery hold down, which is that piece of plastic at the bottom here. Once again, 8mm socket. In this case, you will not be able to fit a wrench in here. Loosen this up all the way and remove it. When you remove this, it should pull that battery hold down out with it. There it is. Set this aside safely. A lot of times these are rusty, so I do recommend inspecting it. If it's rotted and it looks like it's going to break, replace it. If it's just a little rusty, surface rust like this, that's fine. But I will put anti-seize on these threads when it comes time to reinstalling so that it comes out easier in the future and it doesn't seize up. Now be careful because these batteries are heavy. Hopefully yours has one of these handles. Grab onto it, lift it up, and set it aside safely. Now if you had your new battery, carefully place it back into the battery tray. These wires, especially the positive, is going to have to be pushed out of the way because it's on such a short wire here, it'll keep getting in your way. I coated the battery hold down bolt with some anti-seize like I said I would. Make sure those two cutouts are facing towards the fender, not towards the battery. Wiggle this around until you line it up. And there we go, that just dropped into its mounting hole. So thread this on as far as you can by hand, and we'll grab the ratchet and tighten it up the rest of the way. It's important that this is properly secured so the battery does not move around as you're driving, or worst case, in the case of a collision. At this point, this is nice and snug. Don't over tighten it. You don't want to break it or strip this out. Before you connect either of the two battery terminals, inspect them for corrosion. Mine is clean, so I'm going to put this back on. This is the positive. Make sure you put it down all the way. You want to see the battery post sticking up and over the battery terminal here. Snug it up just a little bit. You don't want to crush it. You don't want to damage anything. If you can't spin this by hand, then you're good to go. It is tight enough. Put that rubber cap on. And over here, let's reconnect the negative. Sometimes you'll see a spark. The headlights might flash. And sometimes on certain vehicles, the horn will honk. So be careful about that. Make sure you're prepared because it does scare you sometimes, especially since you're right here and it's loud. So anyway, tighten up this bolt or the mounting nut onto the stud. Same thing, if you can't spin it, you're good to go. At this point, get in the truck, start it up, and as long as everything is fine, you're good to go. If not, check your connections and make sure that everything is properly reconnected. So there you have it. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, don't forget to leave a like, and if you have anything to say, leave it in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell so you can stay up to date with all of our future content. Thanks for watching.